Ugh. Same year. No, wait. Different year. It's mostly same crap. Or actually, maybe I could talk about something different this year, just for a little change of pace. I mean, what else is there to say about WALL-E? The story is just amazing. The visuals are beautiful, the environmental message throughout the whole movie, and the fact that it's a story about how two robots were able to become a couple, even while only saying for the most part Wally and Eve. Oh, sorry. Eva is so amazing. We all like WALL-E, and that little waste allocation load lifter Earth class robot. If you say you hate WALL-E, you're lying, and you know it. I could go on about the movie, but I am not here to talk about the movie. I want to talk about its game. What do I mean by that? If any of you bother to stick around and watch a movie's credits, then you may have noticed this at the end of WALL-E's credits. That is what I'll be talking about. Several versions of a WALL-E game were made, but the ones I played, and now play, are the Mac and Windows version developed by Asobo Studio. I had my own disc of the original WALL-E game that Asobo made, but I haven't been able to find it in a while, but Steam was able to have it, so I got it off Steam. This game has 24 levels plus 3 bonus levels. 11 of them take place on Earth, while the remaining 13 of the levels take place in either the one place that Tim Curry claims is uncorrupted by capitalism, space, and or the Axiom. The first level in particular not only takes place when humanity is evacuating Earth, but also gives you the introduction to WALL-E when he was new. As a kid, it was so cool playing this level despite it being a tutorial, because it was nice seeing WALL-E look completely different to what we all know him as, despite the fact that by that point he was just one of these many WALL-E bots. Since the first level is basically the tutorial, since if you're starting new you can't make it past without playing the tutorial or any other level, it shows you how to do anything, and what buttons you need to press on your keyboard to have WALL-E do anything.
Prepare for the B&L collection checkup. Collect energy charges to advance through the B&L checkup station. Prepare for the cube creation checkup. Create cubes and throw them at the B&L crates. Prepare for the box form checkup. Change to box form to pass under obstacles. Prepare for the box charge checkup. Change to box form to charge into B&L crates.
Though eventually I'd start playing the tutorial over and over again, either to mess around or to see how quickly I would get through the tutorial, the latter of which I basically learned speedrunning before I knew it had a name. Also, can I just say that on replay, this part in particular brought me so many memories for some reason?
Welcome to the By and Large Laser Charge Dispenser. You're all clear.
Although many people would normally not like a tutorial of a game, for some reason I was just engaged in this game's tutorial. And then immediately the next level you are thrown into having to escape a sandstorm. Yeah, for some of you this may be whiplash, but as a kid I didn't really question it because I was going downhill quickly. Granted, I wasn't very good at collecting the B&L crates in this level, nor was I very good at this level or the other two similar levels either. But the next 3 levels are more casual as we try to find a Wally that looks functional on the top of a rubbish tower, as well as get a little bit familiar with explosives. Though for some reason I thought this took a lot longer as a kid. And then you enter a building by doing a little bit of trolling. And then once you get to the top of the tower, you do some more trolling. But when we get to the Wally is actually deader than most of the Rio Grande standard gauge steam locomotives, leaving Wally more depressed than 80-year-old me when I found out that my summer vacation wasn't 104 days. But just like in the movie, Wally is able to find a plant, and then later on is able to find Eve after a rocket lands. And just like the movie, this is where the Sandstorm comes in, although this time it's Eve carrying Wally to his home. This is where we come upon a few of the Eve levels that are in this game. Though, as a kid, I can safely say that I didn't really play these levels too much. I don't hate Eve, but I'm not very good at these levels. There was even a time in my life where I couldn't even figure out which button I had to press to make Eve go when I played this game on the Mac. I have since gone back into these levels and I have gotten somewhat better at them, just not too much better. We then come upon the next level, which is another one of the downhill levels, where Wally leaves his lunchbox and probably doesn't retrieve it until after he gets back to Earth. Also, can I just say that as a kid I thought he approached the camera angle here a bit quickly? Of all the downhill levels in Wally, I think that this one was my personal favorite as a kid. Of course, you may assume that because I am good. Don't worry, I am not. Yeah, I think we may need to retrieve Wally out of that bottomless pit eventually. And because I'm not very good, that means hearing this part of the music playing is a bit of a rarity for me. I swear, when I first heard that part of the soundtrack as a kid, I got goosebumps. It chilled me. But just like in the movie, we make it to the rocket that Eve's being taken away on and get blasted into space. Also, along the way, you may have to, you definitely need to, kill a bunch of items that the spacecraft is passing by, so that you do not fall off the spacecraft, because if you do, well, you're lost in space forever. But we get to the Axiom, and also the devs use the same reject bot model for pretty much all the other robots, to which Mo sees Wally and immediately wants to kill him. I may or may not have used that part of the cutscene for a previous video I made. And to be honest, Phase 7 looks really good on the GE Genesis locomotives off Amtrak. Anybody who says otherwise is automatically wrong. And we need to go after Eve because she's being taken away, and we cannot let that happen. And if you fall behind, well... Also, right off the bat in the first level on the Axiom, there are several areas where some of the B&L crates you have to jump at a specific location just to get all the crates, of which you can do if you are good at the game. Don't worry, even after all these years, I am not. Yeah, I think we may need a wrench to fix Wally. In addition, once you get out of the second stage of this level and into the third stage, you can hear the announcer, and automatically you can hear the sounds of commercialism in the air. P.S. You may need to remember that whole "the ground is lava" thing, or else... Also, about that commercialism thing, it's not nearly as prevalent in the first level on the Axiom.
Take a cruise through space on the Axiom. Shop, play, and do nothing for 5 luxurious years.
But once you get to the second level on the Axiom, oh boy, does the commercialism thing really increase to its maximum.
Return from your shopping spree in space just in time for the Biomar's Rollback. No need to get up with Biomar's shopping carts. Let them shop while you relax. At Biomar's, we have a vending machine for everything. Just wait and see. If you're not happy, you're not consuming. Don't be the only one without what you need.
If those last two lines do not scream out commercialism, I do not know what does. Honestly, I'm not sure if that's just the studio not playing down to kids with the message that people will try to make you buy things no matter what, but if so, I appreciate how even when they're in games, the game does not play down to kids, even if those messages are in the background. But here is where I come to what it was then and now still is my two least favorite levels on board the Axiom. Life on the Axiom and Robot Rescue. Now it wasn't that I hated these two levels, but I didn't really find them that much interesting, aside from trolling Mo. That is probably the most fun I've had and still have in these two levels, mainly Robot Rescue. Come on, Mo, what you gonna do? Lower my health? Oh, you can lower my health. Yeah, he's gonna be a bit of an issue, and I might as well box form him. Also, it should be noted that there is some combat in this game through fighting the enemies, which you can most easily do that through box forming, which is what I like to do. But you can also use cubes, but if you don't use the cubes quick enough, or if you don't box form fast enough, well... you're a goner. Also, I forgot to mention that you need this light robot to help you get through this one tunnel section where a bunch of Remys, take a wild guess what that is referring to, tiny bots are living in. And if you don't, or if you touch the Remys anyways, even with the light, you are going to experience pain. As a second word of advice, don't get close to the Remys. But we do rescue Eve, to which the next level after Robot Rescue is Human Highway. And bizarrely, if you play this game on a new profile, it gives you this cutscene, but if you play this game on replay, this cutscene does not play whatsoever. I actually remember seeing this cutscene a few times as a kid, and when I got the game on Steam, needed to see this cutscene to make sure I wasn't having a Mandela effect or something. Fortunately, I wasn't having a Mandela effect, but it's pretty weird that it's a first play only exclusive cutscene, don't you think? Also, I find it weird how Eve just shoots the stewards, but in the level, they have the rogue robot's caution signs, just like in the movie, even though there wasn't a picture taken. Anyways, Human Highway was my favorite level on the Axiom as a kid, probably because I was now throwing explosives at stewards more, and that was funny, but also probably because of the gaps I needed to cross to get to my destination. I wouldn't say that this level was my favorite on the Axiom now, as that would probably go to levels where you're chased by stewards and go for, but I would be lying if I said I didn't get enjoyment out of the level as an adult, especially especially throwing explosives at the stewards, which I find funny. After Human Highway is Pod Blaster, and I didn't think of this level that much as a kid, but now that I think about it, I kinda wonder why this level was made, especially since there aren't any cubes to hit. Minus the trash cubes. Also, if you did not hit the trash cubes or the huge rocks, well, yeah, you're gonna have trouble getting back on the Axiom. I still found this level fun as a kid, and I still find it fun as an adult, even though as an adult I'm pondering whether this level was necessary or not. The only issues I had as a kid with this level was the end, where I had to get out of the pod before it crashed into an asteroid.
Dial code to gain access.
But I think that was kinda silly nowadays, especially considering how easy I found it. But we do get out of the pod and Eve has to catch up with Wally because he doesn't know how to use a fire extinguisher apparently. As mentioned earlier, I wasn't very good at these Eve levels as a kid, but nowadays I feel like I'm a lot better with the Eve levels now than I was when I was in single digit ages. These next 3 levels that I didn't think of much as a kid, but do now, include what I believe to be the working ins of deleted scenes from the original WALL-E into the game. This cutscene in Rogue Robots is what I believe to be the inclusion of this one deleted scene where Wally and Eve hide in a location where a bunch of towels are stored, and a kiss between Wally and Eve happens in the towel storage, not space. However, what I believe to be the biggest inclusion of a deleted scene from the movie was when instead of Wally being electrocuted by Otto, Eve is electrocuted instead, and Wally has to fix Eve in the level titled Fixing Eve. After Trash Chute, though. This is what I believe to be a holdover from a deleted scene where instead of Wally falling into the trash chute harmed by Otto, Eve was the one harmed by Otto, and also Wally has a nice interaction with the Wallace in the deleted scene. That's neat. This is a major change from the original WALL-E movie that I thought was weird as a kid, but didn't think much of. But only now do I realize that that was likely because of a deleted scene from an original script in the movie. Whether it really was an original section reworked into a game or a happy coincidence, it's still nice to think about. But for some reason in the game, Wally and Eve both ditch Mo. Even though Mo was tagged along with Wally both in the movie and the deleted scene. I guess Mo got distracted with cleaning other things? We then enter the final stretch of levels on the Axiom with Holodetector Dash being the one where Wally and Eve have to get to the holodetector and use a bunch of other robots, with the ending giving a full-on balls to the wall fight with the stewards, just like in the original movie. It's also really fun box forming the stewards into piles of trash, but when you use the dead stewards to create cubes of the stewards to throw at other stewards, then it really feels like you're rubbing it in their faces. I guess I had the feeling of being an anime protagonist before I even knew what anime was. Honestly, I have begun to like this level more from when I was a kid, even if the water crossing sections are slightly annoying. And if you fall into the water... it's back to the previous checkpoint. And the next level is probably the shortest level in the entire game. P.S. Don't do what I just did there, assuming you do this level in full speed, where you need to go along a sideways Axiom to stop the hollow detector from completely closing. But for some reason, this doesn't look much like something that could damage Wally that much, unlike in the movie. Please don't make me watch that scene again, it's already painful to watch! And as a side note, it's weird in the cutscene in Trash Shoot that Otto is only just, I want the plant till now XD. Otto wanting the plant in the movie makes sense because we have the explanation, but in the game, without explanation, it's so weird. But anyways, the last level, Homecoming, is the last level of the main story where you play as Eve as she supersonic races to Wally's home to fix Wally. Again, I have gotten better at these Eve levels, but can I just say how weird it is when you damage Eve to dying? It's like Wally is saying, oh hey Eve, I was actually fine all along. It makes sense in the first level where you play as Eve, but it doesn't make that much sense here. But anyways, we get to Wally's home and Eve fixes Wally quickly. And after a bit, Wally finally recognizes Eve, and the two are now a couple. The end. But we need to get 3 plants from Go4 for the captain, and 3 robots for the detective robot gang, and then that's the last level. Apart from the optional Eve level down here. I want to say here that for some reason, this last level, Epilogue, was probably my favorite level on Earth as a kid. I could throw explosives at the stewards, and I could chase something all in one level, which I thought was really fun to do. These days my favorite level on Earth would go to Shipyard, as I have gotten more enjoyment in Shipyard, and I was also better in many of the areas in Shipyard compared to back then, because I was a lot more afraid of falling back then and missing. But that does not mean I did not enjoy playing the Epilogue when I replayed this, especially considering the fact that it was still pretty fun to blow the stewards into trash with the explosives. But with that, the video is over. This game was really fun as a kid to play, and this, along with Train Town, also helped me understand how to use a computer, at least when it came to computer games. And it was absolutely a blast revisiting this game as a 20-year-old. Who knows, maybe I'll eventually find that old Wally disc and play it. Should you play this game? Yes, I am very biased. Especially as somebody who has also watched Wall-E over and over and over again when I was a kid, as much as Over the Hedge, Madagascar, and Ratatouille. But I think those are some other movies for other people to talk about. Anyways, with that out of the way, thank you for watching everybody, and until next time, have a good day. Also, for some reason, I heard Tatapus whenever I heard these doors open. I do not know why. Okay, goodbye.